Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Cousins has agreed to a 4-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. This is being reported by his agent, Mike McCartney, 7. Now, this is a deal that everybody was assuming could potentially take place. When the numbers come out, both Mike and Kirk Cousins will probably have made this a very favorable one for the belle of the ball in the quarterback market this particular offseason. But Kirk Cousins is exactly who you think he is. He's going in there. He'll spin the ball. They're going to win some games. Wow. Is Atlanta suited with Raheem Morris back in town and Arthur Blank reinvesting in the team in a new era with Kyle Pitts, who still hasn't been able to prove if he's a guy or not? Are the Atlanta Falcons with Kirk Cousins playoff bond, Ooh. Super Bowl bond? What? We shall see with what we assume will be a massive guaranteed contract between he and the Atlanta Falcons. D-Butch, whenever you think about Kirk Cousins and the talk surrounding him going into free agency, like, hey, you want to get a guy who's going to come in and win games because that's what Kirk Cousins seemingly does. How does this fit for Atlanta? What are your thoughts on this? And how does it go in the NFC South?
I think it's great for those young athletic weapons that they have. Obviously, Bijan Robinson, you talked about Pitts, Drake London. I think we haven't even seen like his potential even close to where he's going to be. But like you said, Kirk Cousins, you know who he is. He's going to be, I think, at his top, he's a top probably 7 to 9 type quarterback in the NFL. Obviously coming off an Achilles, but his style of play, pocket quarterback, gonna stand in there and throw it down the pipe. So I love this signing for Atlanta.
He looks healthy too. You know, these Achilles recoveries have seemingly been expedited over the last couple of years. We've been right in the middle of the new science. Shout out to the Achilles factory out there in LA. Shout out Dr.
Neil Elatrosh.
Great hair.
Great hair.
Great hair.
Cool cat.
Great personality.
3-piece suit. Open button up, though, at the top. Okay. Super duper cool. But I feel like Kirk feels like he's going to be healthy. And at the NFL Honors, wasn't he dancing?
Yeah.
With
he was singing, shirtless.
Yeah, wasn't he stripping?
Doing a ropes course a couple days ago at his birthday party.
Yeah.
Just a leader that's coming in immediately with some experience that can hopefully lead you to some wins in an NFC South that is seemingly open.
Yeah,
seemingly wide open down there in the NFC.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Atlanta, like this is the first time you've had a guy in 5 years, right? Just because
the Desmond Ritter conversation was wild. Because every year it was like, is he a guy? Is he not a guy? So now this means the Minnesota Vikings are without Kirk Cousins for sure. What do they do going forward? We shall see. Are they going to try to move up in the draft to get somebody they like? Are they hoping maybe they could trade for Zip on the ball Zappy?
That's possible.
Or Jacoby Brissett? Or
Mason Rudolph?
Somebody like Mason Rudolph potentially in Pittsburgh now that Russell Wilson is alongside Kenny Pickett in the quarterback room. It's like, what do the Vikings do now after the Falcons get a signing done that we kind of assumed they were going to get done going into the free agency table?
Well, you mentioned it earlier, too, and I don't know if it'll actually happen because if they do trade for him, then I think that kind of means that you're going to have to end up paying him. But, like, now, I mean, is it, like, do they kick the tires on Justin Fields at all? I mean, who knows if the Bears would be okay with trading him in division, but if they're going to get rid of him for, I don't know if
Could
they
you
think that
fathom
highly, but
Chicago Bears fans trading Justin Fields away after the team played their best football for the last couple weeks of the season? Him going to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then Caleb, like, couple years to figure, not that he wouldn't, I guess they wouldn't even have, they would have Caleb. So Caleb, like, for a couple years trying to figure it out. Chicago Bears fans would be.
Okay, he wins MVP in his first season.
You
with
have
the
to see
Vikings.
it it's in your division.
Yeah.
And he's still very, very young. Like, this could go on for a long time. That would be a very difficult decision. That'd be a very, very tough decision. Like when Deshaun Watson was available before everything took place. Remember, he asked for a trade from the Houston Texans. I was like, sweet, he's coming to the Colts. And they're like, could you imagine if he traded inside the division, how the Houston Texans fans would feel forever? It's like the Bears have to seemingly think like that because the Vikings are going to be very eager, you would think, in this quarterback market, or at least at draft time, to make some moves.
Or even like the I don't know, because I assume the Vikings had to have known that either they weren't going to re-sign Kirk, like that this was going to happen. And not saying it will happen, but like how much of this potentially affects whether or not Justin Jefferson wants to stick around in Minnesota, because they can do whatever they can to keep him around, but like if he were to just be like, okay, we're drafting this rookie, I don't know if this guy's going to be any good, like there will be 20 teams that will give him whatever he's going to want.
I think Justin Jefferson knows that there's a chance that we're not going to be able to have a veteran quarterback if we're going to pay you the amount of money we're going to pay you. We're going to have to go with a rookie quarterback. I think Justin Jefferson was asked about Kirk Cousins being his quarterback, if you remember that answer. And in the answer, he said, would love to play with Kirk again, would very much enjoy Kirk. Put over Kirk Cousins huge, just like everybody in Minnesota has kind of put over. But then he went on to explain about how he's had 1,000 yards with like 7 different. Right. Yeah. Like I feel like Justin Jefferson understands from a business standpoint that if he's going to get the deal that he deserves and has earned, it might be difficult to keep everybody around, and more specifically the quarterback position. That's me just thinking from outside looking in, but I assume that it was a reality that Justin Jefferson maybe expected.